Hello and welcome to this special numerology video. As you know, the Queen Elizabeth II died recently, and unless you've been living under a rock, you may have noticed these words popping up all over the place in messages of condolence or messages of mourning. And I thought it was a little bit strange. Everyone seems to be using the same words. Deeply saddened, deeply saddened. I've seen it everywhere, and it's been driving me crazy because I live in England and that's not how we speak. That's not how we talk. That sounds incredibly stilted. It sounds like maybe how somebody upper class might speak if they were in the royal entourage or something, but that's not how the average Joe speaks. That's not even how PR people, marketing people speak. That's just not common parlance for us here in the UK. So I wanted to investigate a little bit deeper because, as you may know, words are used in magical ritual, words are used in spells, and you probably know as well as I do that the royal family, the people in charge here on this earth, know perfectly well how to leverage the occult, and they use it on a daily basis. So I thought, let's take a look at the numerology of the words deeply saddened and see what energy is really behind here, see if there is any sort of manipulation that could possibly be going on by encouraging people. And everyone seems to be doing it, and they're not doing it spontaneously, by encouraging people to use these words. Now, I tried to find out where the words originally came from. I'm guessing it was the BBC or something, or, you know, some... I really don't know where the words came from. Maybe you can tell me, because I haven't been able to track down where they originated, and yet everybody's using them. Even small businesses near to where I live. We don't speak like this. This is weird. Okay, so let's take a look at the numerology. We're going to do this with Pythagorean numerology using numbers 1 to 9 for the alphabet. So here we go. So we've got 4. Now, consonants go along the bottom, vowels go along the top. E is a 5. P is a 7, L's a 3, and Y, in this case, we're going to count it as a vowel because it's an E sound, so it's acting as a vowel. So that's also a 7. So S, 1, A, 1, D, 4, 4, E, 5, N, 5, E, 5, D, 4. Okay. So let's take a gaze at these numbers to start with. And the first thing that really jumped out at me here is that is a lot of 4s and 5s. So if we count them up, the 5s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5s, 1, 2, 3, 4 4s. So we got 4 4s and 5 5s. Okay, this is very significant to me. What my guide said to me as I was doing this exercise is that if you're going to control people in a 3D reality, then 4 and 5 are where you're going to do it. Okay, 4 is the concrete reality and 5 is the lower mind. So this certainly speaks to me of mind control, or the potential for mind control here, which is, you know, something of a concern, but it was immediately what jumped out at me from these numbers. So next we're going to look at the individual numbers here. So we've got 14, we've got 17, so just adding these up at the top here, 11 and 18. And I had written these down already. That wasn't really fast arithmetic. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers here. So up here we've got the more spiritual energies, down here we've got the sort of lower energies, the more concrete energies. So 17, so that's hope and recognition. It can be recognition for a job well done, you know. 14 is very much a number of the establishment. Okay, then we have 11, which is about wisdom, and 18, which is about healing and shadow. So those are all words, you know, that those energies all correspond certainly to a passing of a monarch. You can understand where these energies would be coming from. That all makes sense. Totally get that. So what we're going to do now is just add up all the ones along the top, all the ones along the bottom. So the urge of soul, the spiritual energy at the top, and the more, the personality, or the more earthly energies, shall we say, along the bottom. So along the top, 11 plus 17 is 28, 10, 1. And down here, 14 plus 18 is 32, 5. Okay, so if we add those numbers together, what we get is 60, 15, 6. Okay, so We get 50 from adding these two, then we add the middle number and the end number to get 15 before we go to the last number and the end number to get 6. So there is a hidden 15 in here, which isn't always present when you have 60. Okay, 15 doesn't necessarily show up, but it does in this case, and that is particularly important. So let's take a look at these numbers. We have 28, 10, 1, and we have 32, 5, and then we have 60, 15, 6. So 28, 10, 1, this can be about the need for good judgment or discernment in the face of unexpected change, which comes in on 10, and new beginnings at 1. When this energy is out of balance, or the negative aspect of this energy can be that we can be too trusting and naive, especially when it comes to legal matters. So it could be to do being a bit too naive and a bit too idealistic about the royal family, perhaps, or about how our government, how our country is run. On the lower level, we've got 32, 5. Now, 32 is a victorious and magical number for ruling people and for ruling nations. It brings protection to rulers. It can be a number that's very charming. It brings charisma, but it feeds directly into government and power over people. And I don't think that's any accident here. So what I'm seeing is people may be feeling a little bit too idealistic if they're playing into this energy about how our country is actually run here and who's in charge and what they're doing. So there's definitely a bit of a caution showing up there for me. And the negative aspect of 32.5 as well is, you know, it can be haughty and proud and superior, and that can really irk other people. It can really annoy other people. 32.5 energy can really, really annoy people if they see through you. And I think that's why I've been feeling so annoyed every time I saw the words deeply saddened. I mean, I have no time for the royals, don't get me wrong. But I couldn't quite get my head around why the fact I felt so irked every time I saw the words deeply saddened. I was like, that's really bothering me. I need to investigate this energy. Now I know why. It's this 32.5 energy, which is very manipulative, and I have a great dislike for manipulators and for people who gaslight or control others or who manipulate other people. So next we move on to the overall expression of this energy, which is 60, 15, 6. Now 60 itself is a really interesting number because it is about wisdom, and it is about being untainted by preconceived ideas. So it's a very interesting number here. We can actually really gain a lot of wisdom at 60. We can be under divine protection here, and it occurs to me that if I was working for the royal family, I would want to be using this 60 energy to try and bring in some protection for the next monarch coming in. I would want to use these magical numbers here to make people feel wistful, to make, oh yes, it's a job well done. You know, a number 60 can be a job well done. You know, oh, you've done your bit, you did a good job, you know, peaceful resolution, peacefully moving on to the next stage. That's absolutely the numerology that I'd be wanting to implement if I was working for them, which I'm not. Nor would I. But we have this hidden 15, and 15, if, you know, the tarot is the number of the devil. Okay, it is a number of choice, but it's quite a important choice. It's a choice that the mind has to make about how we live. It's a choice that we have to make on an individual level. And at 15, we may feel trapped. We may believe that we have no say, that we don't have a choice, but we absolutely do. And at 15, we can very much be playing victim or bowing and scraping to somebody, pretending that they're better than us, just because it's easier than standing up and being an adult, you know, and taking full responsibility for our lives. Oh no, that person's better than me. Oh, I have to bow to them. Bullshit. No one's better than you. You don't bow to anybody. That's ridiculous. Okay. You are a divine, sovereign being. And that's the reminder of the devil energy here. And then at 6, finally, we reach the choice. 6 is all about choices. It is also the number of the heart. And here you'll notice how I've drawn the 6 here, and how I write the numbers also indicates the energy coming through from any particular words at any particular time. You'll notice the 6 here is very closed. I'll just hold it up a bit closer. The 6 here is very, very closed. It's so tight and closed that the line actually went over a little bit there at the edge. That's a very closed heart. That's not a good sign. Okay, this is a very, very closed heart energy from the monarchy. This is a fearful energy from the monarchy, trying to keep the people down. You use these words, deeply saddened, you play into our magic spell and you keep us safe. This is absolutely the energy that I get from the numbers being shown to us here, from the energy that's being exposed by the numerology of the words people are being coerced, encouraged, manipulated, whatever, to use in their press statements, in the things that they want to say. I've seen so many businesses locally use these words. Oh, we're deeply saddened at the news of the passing of blah, blah, blah. No one speaks like that. That's not how you talk. Where'd you get these words from? You didn't think of them for yourself. I guarantee you didn't think of them for yourself. They came through. That idea was given to you. That idea was placed in your mind in order to try and control the situation on behalf of the royal family, on behalf of the royal household, because they are desperately trying to hang on to control with this number 60. They do not want you to see that you don't have to play victim anymore. They want you to make the choice and just carry on with your eyes closed and be incredibly naive with this number 28 energy up here. And all of these 4s and 5s speak to me very much of manipulating people's minds in a very concrete, very kind of earthly way. This isn't happening in the higher realms, in the ether. This is happening perhaps through psychology, perhaps through manipulation. So next, what I wanted to do is I actually have pulled some cards about this whole matter, about these words in particular that I just wanted to share with you. We have number 4, authentic truth. Now again, it's this number 4 coming through here. 4 is trying to show us who we truly are in this incarnation, what we truly are, what we're here to do. And it's time for us to step up and remember that now. Okay, we shouldn't be trying to hide from the truth. We shouldn't be trying to say, oh, it's okay, we can just let them stay and they're just figureheads and it's okay. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Okay, this is the age of enlightenment. We're moving into a great awakening right now where we can realize that nobody is chosen by God to rule over anybody else. That's a load of old rubbish, okay? That is manipulation. That is control. That is not what we were put here to do. We were put here to remind ourselves and to remind others of who we truly are, which is we are all the divine in human form right now. That is the authentic truth of this realm. And that is the authentic truth that we are here to uncover while we exist in this realm. And the next card I had was number 3, channeling. So there's so much information coming down from the higher realms at the moment. And you'll notice the crown on this one as well. Cheeky little crown in there. Which looks very much like the Queen's crown that she generally wears when you see her with that purple thing on. Nice hat. But there's a lot of information coming down, and it also speaks of our DNA, okay? It speaks of our true essence, of who we truly are. There's a very deep and powerful reminder coming through from the higher realms here. And on this 3, it reminds us that creation is possible, that we can do things differently now. 3 is about the blueprint. It's the divine blueprint. It's about our DNA, but it's also about what we create in our lives. And it reminds us that we have a huge and powerful opportunity to create something new, something better, something good for humanity, something good for mankind now. And the last card I had, which has been coming out a lot if you've been watching my weekly forecast, is this number 44, expansion. Again, the theme of 4s coming through here. And it's quite an obvious energy as well. It's really pushing its way into our faces at the moment. I don't think we can hide from it anymore. I think everybody knows that the monarchy is kind of outdated and they're either sort of been tolerated or it's just one of those things, that you don't say anything about because it's been around forever and you grew up with it and your grandma liked the Queen or whatever. It's tradition, but we can move past that tradition now. It's time for us to grow. It's time to activate our own Merkaba. It's time for us to activate our energy, to embody the higher aspects of who we truly are. And that's a very, very exciting thing for us to be able to do. And of course, that's what they would like us to not do. They would very much like to stop us from doing that, prevent us from doing that, because once we realise who we truly are, we would see how ridiculous it is to bow to any other person and put them on a throne and worship them. It's incredibly infantile as well on a spiritual level to want to do that. Very, very infantile. It's almost treating them like some sort of divine parent, which they are not. They are no better than the rest of us, and some of them are worse, so I hear. So the next cards I have here are number 48, passion requires follow through. Now, number 48 is completion of karmic contract. So it seems to me that the royal family's time is up. Yeah. Absolutely up. 48, completion of karmic contract. You know, England, the world, the Commonwealth. Your contract's up now, okay? It's time to move on to something else. It's time to remember that we are all one. We're all unique, but we're all one. Yes, we're all different, but we're all one. And we should all work for each other on this very philanthropic number 31. We should be working together for each other, not swanning around on holiday, taking millions and millions of pounds out of the pockets of poor people, which is what the royal family currently do. Let's make no bones about it. That's exactly what they do. Okay, and if you don't want to put that money, pay that money in the form of taxation, they'll put you in a cage and call it prison. So how can we build on this? Again, 44 coming out. 4 is such a powerful, important number right now. And we can really leverage this 44 energy that's coming through here. How can we build on this? How can we build a better world? How can we get rid of the things that no longer need to be here? How can we declutter the things, the systems, the patriarchal systems that no longer belong in this reality? How can we learn? How can we grow on a spiritual level? 7's the number of the mystic. It teaches us you know, that spirituality is so important in our lives, that there is so much more to learn about the universe that we don't know. How can we build now? How can we expand now? How can we become bigger? How can we let go of the chains that hold us? And this is, again, the devil card energy coming through here in the number 15. 15-6 energy that I mentioned in the numerology. Because if you look at a traditional tarot deck, the devil card, now I don't have one to show you because I realised this morning looking through all my tarot decks, I don't have a traditional tarot deck among them. I don't have a single traditional tarot deck. I've only got very non-traditional, very interesting ones. I probably should get a, yeah, I will get one at some point. But the traditional image that we're used to seeing is kind of like this devil figure up on a pedestal. Okay, and then there are 2 chains, and then there's a man and a woman, and the chains are either attached or they're literally holding them in their hand. But it's very, very loose. Everything's very loose, and it's very obvious looking at the picture that the chains could easily be detached by the man and the woman, and they could just step away. They could just walk away from this figure on the podium that appears to be all powerful, appears to be controlling them. But when you look at it, they're actually not. There's really nothing to see. They've nothing to gain there. They're completely naked in their spiritual perfection. The man and woman are normally depicted as having their clothes on. And they could literally unhook the chain and walk away at any time. And that's the choice. And that's the choice that we're being prevented. Oh, interesting. That's the choice that this numerology is trying to expose here, that the royal family, in my opinion, is trying to prevent us from taking. And they've been trying to prevent us from taking that decision for a very, very long time. But the energy is so potent right now for us to be able to do that, that I don't believe they will be successful. I believe the new King Charles, I feel, may be very unpopular. We may well see a downfall quickly passing on to William or something. But then their days are absolutely numbered. Their number's up at the moment. They can try and hang on to power. But just looking at the numerology, looking at the cards, looking at the energy, I don't think they're going to manage it. And we know that moving into the new age of Aquarius, this new energy that we're moving into, they don't belong in that new era, and they know it. So time's up, guys. Soz. Sorry to break it to you, but you already knew. So if you reached the end of this video, thank you very, very much for watching. Please do let me know what your thoughts are on the numerology with the whole energy surrounding this entire situation. I would love to hear your thoughts. Always like to know what you think. If you reached the end of the video, please put number 44 in a comment for me just below, so I know that you've watched to the end. Please do share this video with a friend. Leave me a like if you enjoyed this video. Please also remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because that really, really helps me. And I will see you all again soon, unless I've been locked up in the tower. Bye-bye.